of our students is by our trained staff. And I think that was important to say as well, and so I included it in my message last week, is that we do have a veteran, well-trained, and educated faculty and staff who meet the needs of all of our students, and especially those who face challenges coming to school. It's that well-trained and educated staff that is helping our students at risk, that is helping our students who need anything extra to make it through the school day. And I think it's important that we acknowledge the hard work that staff is doing. So I just wanted to say that and update the committee. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. I do think that at this point I just wanted to acknowledge it. Thank you for saying that. I think that what's important from, I'm only one of five, but I think it's important from our perspective that you're able to speak on that. I know that I've talked to you many times about it, how I felt, and I have a lot of questions. And what I hope is that as you continue to have discussions with the student body and parents, that you're open to the feedback. And you're able to just assess like how people are feeling and continue to do that. We'll see, what comes from that. And as well, I do want to thank you as well, because I know that you've been part of some of those discussions with those students and trying to support you as well. But my only hope is that in the future, when we have things that we implement, that we do them in a slow manner, and that we get stakeholder input before we make decisions like this, and that we take everything into account. And I'm hoping that while we're looking at the reorganization in the guidance office, that we're able to offer more support to those students that need it. So that would be something that I just think it's important. And I just ask that you consider that and try to do as much as you can to support these students. I don't know if anybody else has any comments, anything to add?
No, you basically said everything, but as you can tell, this is a very, the community is very strong, and they really, it would have been beneficial to have talked before, that this kind of decision was being made. But, not gonna be a Monday morning quarterback, so, and I do appreciate all the, conversations you have and having with students and parents regarding.
Thank you. Anyway, so we're moving on to the next portion of the meeting, which is public comment. I have the public comment sign up sheet. There are 4 people signed up. Just want to remind folks you have 3 minutes for public comment. And
Kate Lyons, I'm a Stoughton resident, and I would like to thank you for the opportunity to express our emphatic support of the school's decision to keep the school walls unbiased and academically focused. I stand here before you representing parents, grandparents, and concerned citizens, many of which who cannot be here tonight. We extend a heartfelt thank you to teachers, Dr. Rab, and school committee members for your dedication in seeing our children's academic education is the main focus. We support having only the American flag represented in our schools. Having other flags can be discriminatory, divisive, controversial, and distracts from academics. A flag does not present multiple sides of a subject. It is a symbol. In an 1861 address by Henry Ward Beecher, Henry's vision of America symbolized in our flag echoed our founder's idea that every man shall have liberty to be what God made him, without hindrance. Not another flag has had such an errand carrying everywhere, the world around, such hope for freedom, such glorious tidings. This supreme idea, divine right of liberty in man, every color means liberty, every form of star and beam or stripe of light means liberty. Not lawlessness, not license, but organized institutional liberty. Liberty through law and law for liberty. If we could put our energy into reclaiming our founding vision as a pluralistic society and provide the broadest possible canvas for human freedom, we could reshape the world for the better instead of endlessly creating and repeating grievances. Flags do not make our schools safe. People make our schools safe. If safety is a concern for any student, there are parents, teachers, guidance counselors, and coaches to guide the students at large of a zero tolerance for violence and bullying. It is a parent's job to raise their children with their values and how to handle differences. It is not the state or school's job to be involved in social justice causes. We heard a concern of finding an adult to trust. Trusting is a lifelong, learned process of discernment for all of us. We need to let children become resilient and learn to discern whom they can trust. It is not the school's job to portray alternative lifestyles or support movements with a flag in an academic setting. It would become a slippery slope and takes away from our diverse population, whom all can focus on academics and the freedom our American flag represents. Again, we extend appreciation of this wise policy.
Thank you very much.
To get the focus back to education and away from controversial
Lisa, thank
social
you.
justice.
So I'm gonna ask Olivia Tran to come to the microphone. If you don't mind just saying your name and address. Hi.
Olivia Tran.
Okay. No, you don't have to.
My name is Olivia Tran. I've been enrolled in Stoughton Public Schools since kindergarten. It is now my senior year at Stoughton High School. I will soon end my enrollment in the 4.2 GPA after participating in mainly honors and AP classes. In my report card, I have been described as a soft-spoken, obedient student. I do not cause disruptions, and until Wednesday, January 4th, I have not gotten in trouble. On Wednesday of last week, I was suspended for standing on a staircase and holding a pride flag in front of the administrative office. I resorted to this peaceful protest after having two meetings, one with Principal Miller and then another with Principal Miller and Superintendent Rabb, where it was made very clear to me that Rabb will not change his mind about the flags. During this protest, I respectfully let the administration know my position, and I did not cause any disruption. I stood there quietly, speaking when spoken to. After my suspension, I went home. Honestly, I was terrified. I had never done this before, and I didn't know what to do next. I didn't even know if I had the strength to do it. But my little brother approached me while I was sitting in the kitchen, and he thanked me for what I had done. For some context, he is a part of the LGBTQ community. That right there meant more to me than my peers. That was when I had made the decision to continue with what I was doing. As a bisexual Asian American female, I am standing here to inform anyone whom it may concern that the alley stickers placed outside of classroom doors does not take away from the absence of Pride and Black Lives Matter flags. Intended or not, you are telling everyone who falls under either of those categories that they do not deserve to be represented. That as long as Superintendent Rabb feels he is right in this decision, the voices of everyone else hold no importance. Those flags, no matter how unimportant they may seem to you, hold an immeasurable amount of importance to me and the people who have signed the petition I have created, which is counting over 600 people and many more. You want to keep a neutral classroom, but it is impossible to be neutral in this decision. If you ban them, you choose hate. You choose to take down flags that demonstrate the support of so many people. These flags do not discriminate against anyone. They do not hurt anyone. So why are they controversial? If you choose to hang them, you choose love. You choose to demonstrate your support and ethics by allowing these flags to hang and inherently supporting the affected community. There is no other solution that could possibly measure up to putting those flags back up in the classrooms. What do you choose? Because there is no neutral, there is no in-between, and there isn't an option of neither. Which is it? Love or hate? Hang the flags or ban them? As students recite to you the American flag that is still allowed to hang in school, with liberty and justice for all, I ask the school community to give us the justice we deserve.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Groups pose as social justice warriors, inventing causes that go nowhere, like tearing down meaningless statues in the name of equality and equity. That gesture is an empty platitude. All it does is give the impression that they've done something significant when all they've really done is put a bandage on a missing limb when it needs a tourniquet. All these groups do is throw bombs into an already volatile situation and then propose to fix the problem they caused with more fuel on the fire, and often that's literal fuel. I am a Jew, and my brethren have been persecuted since the days of Moses and Pharaoh. Do I hate all Egyptians? Do I demand reparations from all Germans? Have my people ever burnt down towns they were expelled from in every country? Do my people suffer from white privilege? We were expelled from our own land by the Romans. We were expelled from Muslim lands, England, France, Spain, Russia. I could go on ad nauseum. Jewish lives matter too, don't they? If we're going to use cliche. How about the Japanese in the internment camps? Why didn't they rise up in the hour of their oppression and burn things down and loot? Why is it that concerning these groups that this behavior is acceptable to anyone? Who benefits from this behavior? If anyone supports these groups, all they're doing is supporting anarchy, because that's what they do wherever they go. They burn, they loot, they sexualize our children and cause violence against anyone who are not them. They take their game plan out of the book called Rules for Radicals, written by Saul Alinsky, which this book was dedicated to Lucifer. They create a problem and then pose as if they are the ones who will fix the very same crisis they created. In the name of BLM Antifa, multiple cities all over the country burnt down. And why would anyone want to support this agenda? Isn't there a better way to handle this matter, or are we without any creative imagination? If anyone supports these groups in schools and displays their flags, they are either woefully naive, intellectually dishonest, or misguided. We support the efforts of those on the board and Superintendent Dr. Rabb in keeping these flags and ideologies out of schools. Teach academics, not ideologies. Thank you.
First of all, I feel the best way to handle this issue is not to entertain the merits of each group's flag, because we need to keep that completely out of the discussion. The best and the most fair solution, the most magnanimous way to handle it, is to just revert back to the original precedent of the American flag alone, because it stands for all of us, U.S., not just subsets of society. The American flag is all-inclusive, unlike the other flags. And school is meant to be a safe haven for learning, not a bastion for social justice issues. So if you open the door to these flags, then you're just opening the door to all groups' flags, which could potentially include a Nazi flag, a Confederate flag, or even a MAGA flag, or a white supremacist flag. And I don't want any of that, so which in turn will expose us to vitriol and division. So that's the aspect I think we need to focus on. You have to pick your battles. If you open the door to these two flags, then you will be expected to open the door to flags of all the other aforementioned that I had said, and more. And this could turn potentially into lawsuits, more protests, more division, and more hate. And I just don't want to see the hate anymore, the division. I'm so sick of it. I have nothing against black people.
Maybe just the chair, if you don't mind, that's okay.
It's okay.
No, that's all right.
I don't have anything against LGBTQ or any minority, anything. I just think we have to pick our battles and put social justice outside of the school, because there are people that see the flag and they don't like it. So why should they have to be subjected to it? If it's not there at all for anyone, then there's no issues for us, nobody has to be fighting, no division, no hatred. You wanna pick your battles, that's what you should be doing, because they're not saying you can't be in a group outside of school or something. That's not the issue here. It's a flag. Pick your battles. It's not that important. And what it could transgress into is something much more volatile and much more detrimental. So in the ability for us to have more peace and less division, which is the whole crux of why I wanted to speak, I think you really have to realize that the American flag is the one flag that we can all stand behind, because it's all inclusive, it's for all of us, there's